First house, fourth house, seventh house, and 10th house are known as Kendra, meaning the center houses in Vedic astrology. First, fifth, and ninth house are known as Trikona, meaning triangular houses. In reality, every Kendra house is also a part of Trikona. The first house is a part of the fifth and ninth house, that is the Trikona. This Trikona, formed by first, fifth, ninth house, is called the Dharma Trikona, meaning the righteousness triangle. 10th house, Kendra, is part of the second and sixth house, Trikona. This Trikona, formed by 10th, second and sixth house, is Artha Trikona. Artha Trikona means the triangle of money and wealth. Seventh house, which is Kendra, is part of the third and 11th house. This Trikona, formed by 7th, 11th, and 3rd house, is the Kama Trikona, meaning the sexual, physical pleasures, desires, fulfillment triangle. 4th house, which is Kendra, is a part of the 8th and 12th house Trikona. This Trikona, formed by 4th, 8th, 12th, is the Moksha Trikona, meaning the triangle of liberation, Nirvana. So you see, the Kendra and Trikona comprises all the aspects of human life. That is, Artha means money, Kama means sex, Dharma means righteousness, and Moksha means liberation. The Hindu religion, or to be more precise, the Sanatan Dharma of ancient India, has been so perfectly based on these four walls of human life: Artha, that is money, Kama, that is sex, Dharma, that is righteousness, and Moksha, that is Nirvana, liberation of the soul. Human being, the period of whose life is 100 years, should practice Dharma, that is righteousness, Artha, that is earning money, and Kama, that is sex, at different times and in such a manner that they may harmonize and not clash in any way. He should acquire learning in his childhood. In his youth and middle age, he should attain to Artha and Kama, that is money and sex. And in his old age, he should perform Dharma, that is righteousness, and thus seek to gain Moksha, that is liberation of the soul, that is release from further transmigration, says the Sanatan Dharma. The secret therefore is that for every aspect of life, the whole Trikona becomes instrumental. Meaning, for marriage, along with the 7th house, the 3rd and 11th house also becomes instrumental in signifying marriage and happiness from marriage. The same is the case with money, income. Along with 2nd house, 6th and 10th house also becomes instrumental. The same is the case with spiritual journey or progress on spiritual path. That is, along with the 12th house, the 4th and 8th house also becomes instrumental. Life is multi-dimensional. Similarly, astrology is also multi-dimensional. Just one house cannot decide the outcome of a certain aspect of human life. Always remember, we are multi-dimensional beings. Our life here on planet Earth is only a fraction of who we are. Human beings are also multi-dimensional. Sex cannot engulf your whole. If it is doing so, then you are simply being one-dimensional. Money cannot engulf your whole life. If that is the case, then you are simply being one dimensional. Dharma also cannot engulf your life, else you will become a hardcore religious activist who shows no humanity, no feelings. Spirituality also cannot engulf your life, else you will miss to take care of the basic needs of your life, such as food, hospital bills, shelter, and clothing. So you see, everything is needed, and one who is able to balance all of these aspects of human life becomes a real master, a real yogi. There should be a balance between material and spiritual progress, a balance achieved through the principles based on love and compassion, says Dalai Lama. Balance is the key, and therefore a good horoscope is always balanced, meaning it has planets in the Kendra, that is in the 1st, 4th, 7th or 10th, as well as in the Trikona houses, that is in the 2nd, 3rd, 5th, 6th, 8th, 9th, 11th or 12th. Kendra houses is like the playground where the player comes to play and exhibit his or her performance, whereas Trikona houses are the engine, the source from where the talent comes. So now tell me, and I ask this only to my close followers, what drives your performance? And the answer is talent, intelligence, wisdom. All of this comes from the abode of the Trikona houses, that is the 2nd, 3rd, 5th, 6th, 8th, 9th, 11th and 12th house. Now a question may arise that what if there are no planets in the Kendra houses, that is in the 1st, 4th, 7th and 10th? The answer is simple. Then you may not get the platform to perform. It is like you are a good batsman, but you never got the opportunity to come on the ground and perform. Your turn never came. And so in such scenarios, we find men and women who are talented, but they never get the chance to perform. They always remain in the waiting list, waiting for an opportunity. Many times, they also tend to miss the opportunity. Always remember, my friends, nothing is more expensive than a missed opportunity. In certain cases, such fellows, even if they get opportunity, they are not able to perform well. Since there is no planet in the Kendra, or the Lord of the Kendra is not having the strength. Mohan asked, and what when there are absolutely no planets in the Trikona houses? Then the native lacks talent or the required skill to make an impact in this world. Through certain connections, he or she may get an opportunity, but because they simply don't have the necessary talent, they face failures after failures in life. A good example is of star kids. These kids get movies or television serials, but they simply cannot make any impact. They miss to make an impact. They lack the acting skills. I generally don't get much time to watch television serials, but I remember watching a few television serials on Star Plus channel, and the kind of acting talent that I observed in some of the television actors, be it Naira or Karthik in the television serial Ye Rishta Kya Kehlata Hai. This is the only serial that has always maintained a decent plot, that is not negative, and yet has managed to become the most popular television show. Similarly, there are certain great acting talents who act in movies. Such kind of talent is missing when you don't have any planet in the Trikona houses or the Lord of the Trikona houses is extremely weak. Now the most interesting question, how this Kendra and Trikona house lords impact during their Mahadasha period. And the answer is simple. To perform, you need the perfect opportunity which only the Kendra house lord can offer you. And so it is necessary that you get to experience the Mahadasha of Kendra house lord. Now let us see, based on ascendant, which Kendra planet offers the much required opportunity. Aries ascendant. For Aries ascendant, Mars, Moon, Venus, Saturn Mahadasha can give you the opportunity. For Taurus ascendant, Venus, Sun, Mars, Saturn Mahadasha can give you the opportunity. For Gemini ascendant, Mercury or Jupiter Mahadasha can give you the opportunity. Cancer ascendant, Moon, Venus, Saturn, Mars Mahadasha can give you the opportunity. Leo ascendant, and they are my favorite. For Leo ascendant, Sun, Mars, Saturn and Venus Mahadasha can give you the opportunity. Virgo ascendant, Mercury or Jupiter Mahadasha can give you the opportunity. Libra ascendant, Venus, Saturn, Mars, Moon Mahadasha can give you the opportunity. For Scorpio ascendant, Mars, Saturn, Venus or Sun Mahadasha can give you the opportunity. Sagittarius ascendant, Jupiter, Mercury Mahadasha can give you the opportunity. Capricorn ascendant, Saturn, Mars, Moon and Venus Mahadasha can give you the opportunity. Aquarius ascendant, Saturn, Venus, Sun or Mars Mahadasha can give you the opportunity. Pisces ascendant, Jupiter, Mercury Mahadasha can give you the opportunity. So you see, out of all the 12 ascendants, only 4 ascendants remain unfortunate in the matters of opportunity. And those 4 are Gemini ascendant, Virgo ascendant, Sagittarius ascendant and Pisces ascendant. Simply because these 4 ascendants get only 2 planets, Jupiter and Mercury, as Kendradhipati, meaning Lord of Kendra houses, that is 1st, 4th, 7th and 10th. And so the scope of getting opportunity is lesser than the rest 8 ascendant signs. Millions of men and women are born, but not everybody gets the opportunity, meaning the Mahadasha of Kendra House Lord. It may be the case that you are talented, but if you don't get the opportunity, then how are you going to make an impact and attain success in your career? Reminds me of my meeting with a great saint. And he was not just a saint, but he was also a great doctor, a medical doctor. It happened so that I met him in Mumbai. He had become very old. He shared one incident with me. He was very close to Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. He used to live with Pandit Ji in Delhi. One day he visited a temple in Varanasi and he heard a musician playing Shehnai, a reeded woodwind instrument. The musician was a very common man. He used to sit next to the Shivalinga and play his Shehnai. The doctor loved his art, his way of playing the Shehnai. The next day he shared this incident with Pandit Nehru and insisted that this man should be invited to play before Nehru ji. Nehru agreed. The man was invited and he played his heart out. He played the Shehnai so well that along with Pandit Nehru, the whole gathering was mesmerized. In the days to come, this young man became one of the greatest Shehnai player. He came to be known as Ustad Bismillah Khan. So you see, that is what one needs. That is what real talent needs. Opportunity. The right opportunity, which the Kendra Lord provides. Opportunities are like sunrises. If you wait too long, you miss them. At least one planet should be in the Kendra house, that is in the 1st, 4th, 7th or 10th house. In worst scenario, it is okay if you don't have any planet in the Trikona houses which provides talent. But you need an opportunity which only the Kendra house provides. All of us do not have equal talent, but all of us should have an equal opportunity to develop our talent, says John F. Kennedy, one of the greatest US president. Opportunity to develop talent is what one needs, and so Kendra House Lord and Kendra House becomes extremely important in the affairs of human life. Almost every famous person in this human world has a very strong Kendra house, that is 1st, 4th, 7th and 10th, and a strong Kendradhipati, meaning a strong lord of Kendra houses. In simple words, for a material world, that is for worldly matters, Kendra house is very important, considering that the opportunities comes through the Kendra house. Whereas for spiritual world, that is for spiritual progress, Trikona house is very important. That is the 2nd, 3rd, 6th, 5th, 9th, 8th and 12th. Considering wisdom comes through the Trikona house. A wise person is a man of awareness. He remains happy because he has the skills to find the positive in the negative. Always rely on just a happy frame of mind. Let it become one of the fundamental rules of your life. Even if you come across a negative, find something positive in it. You will always be able to find something. And the day you become skillful at finding the positive in the negative, you will dance with joy. A yogi may do well even though he doesn't get any opportunities in life. So for a yogi, a spiritual being, a Buddha, it is perfectly fine if there are no planets in the Kendra or very few planets in the Kendra. For he is happy in his own bliss. He has tasted that which your money, your status and your power cannot. He is no more trapped in his mind. He has gone beyond the mind. He has reached the state of Buddha, the state of no mind. Spiritual journey begins when you start going beyond the mind. First go beyond mind, then go beyond enlightenment too. Don't get stuck anywhere until you are simply an ordinary part of the existence, with the trees, with the birds, with the animals, with the rivers, with the mountains. You feel a deep harmony, no superiority, no inferiority. Such is the state of a real spiritual being. He is no more of this world. He has gone beyond the world. Because the world itself is nothing but an extension of your mind. Always remember, the world is nothing but your own magnified mind. Your mind is your world. For a villager, all that happens in his village is his world. For a man living in a city, all that happens in the city is his world. In today's online world, the scope of the mind has expanded to all the corners of the globe. And so the world has become more larger than it used to be in the ancient times. The bottom line is that your world is simply your own magnified mind. One day, Mohan asked, in the birth chart, which house you consider as the most significant house? I said to Mohan, your question is like asking which organ of your body is significant. In reality, every organ of the human body is significant. Each organ functions by the support of other organ. Similarly, each house in the birth chart is significant, since each house operates based on the support of other houses. The first house is your swabhav, that is your self-nature. The second house is your values. Only when you have values that the money you earn is used for a good cause. The third house is your efforts. Only through efforts you can do something great. The fourth house is your innermost being. Only when the inner being is purified that you can find peace, happiness in life. Fourth house therefore signify happiness. The fifth house is your intelligence, and intelligence is gained through good karma, through meditation, through chanting the name of the Holy Lord. Fifth house therefore is connected with penance, that is sadhana, worship, that is bhakti, and love, that is prem. The sixth house is your strength to fight back and defeat the temptations. Always remember, the enemy on the outside is less dangerous than your own temptations. Mars, Ketu and Sun therefore do well in the sixth house, because to fight like a warrior you need male dominance, which Mars and Sun provides, as well as you need to have a certain madness, because only then you can fight like a true warrior. This madness, this going beyond the mind, comes through Ketu. And so sixth house is significant, considering the fact that only a fighter wins. It is not important whether you win or lose. What is important is that you fight till the last breath of your life, and that is being a true warrior. The seventh house is your dealings with others, and the most significant other person in your life is your partner, marriage partner or sexual partner. The seventh is how world, that is the others, perceive you. There are men and women who attract others very easily. This power of attraction is in the seventh house. Whenever a person has a moon in the seventh house, he or she definitely attracts the opposite sex. They often enjoy many relationships, sexual or love affairs. Whenever Rahu is in the seventh house, the person is very easily distracted towards others. They are the ones who love to gossip about others. The marriage partner or sexual partner is Rahuish by nature, and it is very obvious that these men and women are always in the tight grip of their marriage partner. The eighth house is the dark world within you. Each one of us carry a dark world within us which we are not fully aware of. The secret of our existence, the root of our birth, the purpose of our life is what the eighth house stands for. It is the most significant house in astrology, my fellows, since it holds much depth and many secrets within its abode. Gupta Dhan or secret treasure is always found through the eighth house. Now it is a different subject that what seems to be a treasure for you may not be a treasure for me. Money, gold may be your idea of treasure, whereas for an evolved soul, wisdom, self-realization is what treasure is. So it all depends on the level of the soul, and the level of the soul is based on its level of consciousness. The ninth house is the house where you exhibit wisdom. Eighth house is the source of wisdom. Ninth house is where your wisdom is showcased. It is just the way a raw diamond is mined from the mines. Eighth house. And then the same raw diamond is polished, treated, and then displayed in a nice air-conditioned showroom. That is the ninth house. People then start believing that diamond is available only in the air-conditioned showrooms. They miss to realize the fact that the real source of this diamond is the mines, the eighth house. Reminds me of a wonderful incident, and this is very close to my heart, and this sharing is only for my few close followers. Once it happened, the great Hindi poet Sumitra Nandan Pant once asked Osho, who in the vast sky of Indian religion are the 12 people who in your opinion are the brightest shining stars? And Osho noted the following 12 names: Krishna, Patanjali, Buddha, Mahavira, Nagarjun, Shankara, Gorakh, Kabir, Nanak, Meera, Ramakrishna, and Jiddu Krishnamurti. Pant said to Osho, "You have excluded Lord Rama from these 12 names." Osho said, "If I am allowed to choose only 12, many names will have to be cut. So I have chosen those 12 people who have made some original contribution. Rama has made no original contribution. Krishna has. This is why Hindus call Krishna a complete incarnation, but not Rama." Pant asked further, "Next, could you give me 7 names out of these 12? Now the question had become more difficult. Osho gave him 7 names from those 12 names: Krishna, Patanjali, Buddha, Mahavira, Shankara, Gorakh, Kabir. Pant said, "The 5 that you have deleted, on what basis did you drop them?" And Osho said, "Nagarjuna is contained in Buddha. That which was a seed in Buddha manifested itself in Nagarjuna. Nagarjuna can be dropped when it is a question of saving. Trees can be dropped, but not the seeds, because seeds will again become trees. They will become new trees. When Buddha is born, hundreds of Nagarjuna will soon be born, but no Nagarjuna can give birth to Buddha. Buddha is the headwater of the Ganges. Nagarjuna is just a place of pilgrimage that appears along the course of the Ganges. Lovely, but if cutting is needed, then the place of pilgrimage can be dropped, not the source of the Ganges. Similarly, Krishnamurti is included in Buddha. Krishnamurti is Buddha's newest edition, the freshest in today's language. But the difference is only of language. Krishnamurti is just an elaboration of Buddha's final sutra, Apa Deepo Bhav, be a light unto yourself. A commentary on one sutra, deep, profound, tremendously vast, immensely significant. But he is just a commentary on be a light unto yourself, Apa Deepo Bhav. These were Buddha's last words on this earth. Before leaving his body, he had given this essential sutra, as if the treasure of his whole life's experience was concentrated into this small sutra. Apa Deepo Bhava. Be a light unto yourself. Ramakrishna can easily be included in Krishna. Meera and Nanak can be dissolved into Kabir. They are like branches of Kabir, as if half of what came together in Kabir has manifested in Nanak and half has manifested in Meera. In Nanak, the male aspect of Kabir has manifested. So it is not surprising that Sikhism became a warrior's religion, a religion of the soldier. In Meera, Kabir's feminine aspect is manifested. Hence his entire sweetness, his entire fragrance, his entire music resound from the bells on Meera's ankles. The woman in Kabir has sung on the one string of Meera's ektara. In Nanak, the man in Kabir has spoken. Both are contained in Kabir. This is how it is, Osho said. I made the list of 7. Now Pant's curiosity was tremendously aroused. He said, and if you had to make a list of 5, then Osho said, then it will be even more difficult for me. But Osho gave him this list of 5. Krishna, Patanjali, Buddha, Mahavira and Gorakh. Because Kabir is merged into Gorakh. Gorakh is the root. Gorakh cannot be left out. And Shankara easily merges into Krishna. He is the exposition of one part of Krishna, the philosophic interpretation of just one aspect of Krishna. Pant said, one more time, if only 4 are to be kept, then Osho listed only 4, and those 4 were Krishna, Patanjali, Buddha and Gorakh. Because Mahavira is not very different from Buddha, just a tiny difference, and that too only a difference in expression. Mahavira's greatness can be encompassed in the greatness of Buddha. Panta said, just one more time, please choose 3 persons now out of these 4. And Osho said, now it is impossible. I cannot drop any of these 4. And then Osho further explained, these 4 individualities are like the 4 directions. These 4 dimensions are like the 4 dimensions of time and space. These 4 arms are like the 4-armed conception of God. In fact, there is only one, but that one has 4 arms. To leave out any one would be like cutting off an arm. I cannot do that. Until now, I have been going along with you. I was continuing to decrease the number because until now, the ones that had to be put aside were clothes. Now limbs would have to be broken. I cannot fracture limbs. Please don't insist on such a violence. Panta said, some questions have arisen. One is, you can drop Mahavira but not Gorakh. And to this Osho said, Gorakh cannot be dropped. because Gorakh became a new beginning for this country. No new beginning came from Mahavira. He was a rare man. But for centuries, the first 23 Jain Tirthankaras had already said that what he was saying. He was just their repetition. He is not the beginning of a new journey. He is not the first link in a new chain, rather the last link. Gorakh is the first link of a chain. Through him, a new type of religion was born. Without Gorakh, there could be no Kabir, no Nanak, no Dadu, no Wajid, no Farid, no Mira. Without Gorakh, none of these are possible. The basic root of all of them is in Gorakh. Since then, the temple has been built high. On this temple, many golden spires have been raised. But the foundation stone is the foundation stone. Through the golden spires may be seen from afar, they cannot be more important than the foundation stone. And the foundation is not visible to anyone. But on this very stone stands the whole structure, all the walls, all the high peaks. The peaks are worshipped. People simply forget about the foundation. Gorakh has been similarly forgotten. And that is how the significance of the 8th house is simply forgotten. I loved Osho the day I read this excerpt. When he talks about Gorakh, my beloved master, one of the greatest of greatest masters, Gorakhnath. The whole palace of India's literature of the Sant tradition rests on this stone. Everything is based on this one individual, Gorakh. He has said it all, and slowly, all he has said will go on becoming more beautiful. A many-colored splendor over time. People will meditate and base their spiritual practice on it for centuries to come. Who knows how many enlightened beings shall be born through him, says Osho. Coincidentally, today is Thursday, Guruvar, and what a beautiful moment it is that this beautiful revelation and sharing of his greatness has happened today on Thursday itself. That is his blessing. Without him, I am lifeless. With him, I am alive. Jai Gorakhnath, Jai Guru. The 10th house signifies the height, the status that you may attain in your life. 10th house is the sum of your 2nd and 6th house. Mohan asked, how? Because the 2nd house is your values, ethics, principles, and 6th house is your quality of service. How devoted you are to serve. When both 2nd and 6th house qualities are in harmony, the 10th is bound to pass with good marks. That is why your status and your standing in the society is purely based on your values, that is the 2nd house, and your service to the society, 6th house, or people in general. The 11th house is the culmination point of your desires. It is here that your desires are fulfilled. But how desires are fulfilled? Only when you take efforts, that is 3rd house, and you network with more people, you communicate effectively and establish good relations with people, which is your 7th house. So you see, 11th house gets good marks only when your 3rd and 7th house is strong and supportive. The 12th house is the beyond. It is the abode of Shiva, the place of Buddha. Now, if you are an utterly disgusting individual, many of them that I come across who simply comment to hurt me, such disgusting individuals will only find the 12th house the most painful house. And many may also get imprisoned. But those beautiful souls, those beautiful individuals who are meditative, who are turning inwards, who are taking efforts towards their self growth, to such individuals, the 12th house becomes a great rejuvenating place to be. 12th house gets its marks based on the state and level of your 4th and 8th house. Always remember, for spiritual progress, the 4th, 8th, and 12th house is of immense significance. So, this is how the whole story of Kendra and Trikona houses. It is a deep subject. Maybe it is so deep and so interesting that a whole book can be written or a whole series of episodes can be made sitting before a camera. For now, this is enough. Maybe someday I will elaborate more on this wonderful subject of Kendra and Trikona houses. But through this video, through this podcast, I have just given you the essence of it. In this October, my new book, Saturn Demystified Spiritually, is coming. I have mentioned many remedies in this brand new book for the larger interest of all my followers and readers and listeners. I am certain that this book will benefit my readers just the way my previous published books have. Always remember, negative people are many, but among these negative, idiotic people, we must find the good ones, the beautiful souls. One day, Yukteswar Giri, the guru of Paramahansa Yogananda, said to Mahavatar Babaji, "There are many fake people in this Kumbh Mela, and so I hesitate to visit the Kumbh Mela." To this, the great, benevolent, compassionate Divine Master, Mahavatar Babaji, Gorakhnath, said, "This human world is a mixture of salt and sugar. One must pick the sugar and leave the salt aside." The message was very clear that though there are many fake saints in the Kumbh Mela or in this human world in general, still you should consciously share and help those who are worthy of your sharing, who are sugar and not salt. In this vast human world of fake fellows, there are very few good, authentic beings in this human world. And they are thirsty, they are longing, they are waiting, they are the real seekers, and they must not be ignored. They should be nurtured. My sharing is only for those who have a certain depth of understanding. My videos or my blogs are only for them. The rest can ignore. I have never asked anybody to read or watch my videos, for I am perfectly aware that only those will come who are true to themselves, who are the future Buddhas. Always remember, there have been many Buddhas before me, and there will be many Buddhas in the future, says Gautam Buddha. So, take the effort, and I say it only for my close followers, only for those meditative beings that don't give up. Take the efforts, be consistent in your meditation, and remember to meditate every day. Love to all my listeners. Jai Sri Ganesha, Jai Guru.